What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Big Dave, and y'all know what it is. I'm back with another one, you dig? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like, and share the channel. It only helps it grow. Well, the topic today is Shannon Sharpe got it right. He said it was a shakedown, and ESPN got it wrong. Let's get off into it. You dig? What's up, Dane? Would you like to introduce yourself today?
What's good, Big Dave? It's your boy Dame D from the What Up Doe Show here again to have a great conversation. It's definitely about to be a good talk, a great conversation. To me, it was a more than a shakedown. But go ahead, Dave. Allow you to go ahead and start to show up.
Well, yeah, like I'm saying, my peoples, what up, though? You dig? Like I said, man, look, this was a setup from the beginning. At the end of the day, it was a setup. And this man was right when he said it. Let me get this audio played for y'all so y'all can hear this again. I'm quite sure y'all heard it, but I'm going to play it again before I go hard on it.
Family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Well, damn, he about real talk and honesty. I'm with the man. I'm really with the man. He got a partial win in this situation. We all know it was a shakedown. And the thing that keep bothering me is we know Tony Buzzley is out here and he's after niggas. And we know this. Why do we keep putting ourselves in these predicaments with these white girls? What is it about these white girls we losing our mind over? I'm not trying to knock nobody, but let's keep it real. What I don't understand, Dane, is the man went to court. It was proven that he didn't sexual assault her. It was proven he didn't rape her. They was in a 3-year relationship from 2019 to 2022. Clearly, the girl is a freak. Clearly, he's a freak. She was on OnlyFans as a prostitute. Let's get real with it. We don't have to use allegedly no more because it's too much footage out here now. You got text message that's been released that she says she want a big black baby inside of her. So how the hell can he take something from her unprotectedly when she want a baby by the man?
Hey,
Tell me.
look, let me say this. From the beginning, it was a shakedown. And what I'm really mad about Shannon is because from the beginning, we thought first that he wasn't gonna try to pay this bitch shit. We thought that he was gonna stay 10 toes down, but from the beginning they were willing to pay her 10 million. But she didn't want that. She wanted 50 million. So he allowed her to, fuck what he had going on, Big Dave. And what I understand is if you didn't do it and you say you didn't do it and you knew it was a shakedown, why allow yourself in the end on the back end to still end up paying her 22 something $1 million? You know what I mean? You supposed to have stayed 10 toes down, but one thing I'm gonna say, I think the lawyers, his lawyer and her lawyer, they're all in cahoots, Dave. At the end of the day, his lawyers convinced him to pay this woman out, because at the end of the day, his lawyer is getting paid, her lawyer is getting paid, and she got paid. So it clearly
Well,
was a
here's the crazy
shakedown.
thing about it. Yeah, it was a shakedown, and she's a prostitute on OnlyFans. She like getting paid for having sex, and he pays her for having sex, or whatever's going on between them. But what's crazy is she called him over there while she set the booby trap.
Right.
She set cameras up all. And these are things they always do anyway. He chokes her, he smacks her ass, they talk nasty, she must play with his butt. Whatever the hell they do together, what nasty shit they do together.
Yeah,
They've
and
been
recorded him
doing
talking
this.
about, tried
So
to
now,
make him like that would make him look bad when he said something about, big black man chokes little white girl.
yeah, bunch of bullshit. She know what she was doing. Oh no, but see now she done closed her accounts on OnlyFans because she don't need it no more. She got that 22 million.
Oh,
She
she
done
came
made a
on
major
air.
come up.
Listen, the day of that settlement, she came on the air and announced that she retired from OnlyFans.
Ain't that a blip? So
Yeah.
she don't need it no more. Oh, it
No.
was a shakedown. Something should be this because she shouldn't be able to get away with this. But they always do, and we always fall for the booby trap. And you know what I don't like about this damn lawyer? I don't give a damn if my lawyer tell me, look, I understand what the lawyer was saying. Look, that's going to settle out so we can get some of these endorsements situated. But his name already took a hit. The
Was
minute that
already
it
in the
came
mud.
out, he had to explaining himself. He was already done.
And that's what I tried to say,
And that's what pissed
during my show. You know what I mean, Dave? I was like, look, I wouldn't pay this bitch shit, because it's already out there. What happened was ESPN allowed for Shannon Sharpe and him and his lawyer and the young woman's lawyer to work that deal out and to settle. And once he settled, that pretty much, gave them the right to, once they saw that settlement, they fired him. Because at the end of the day, it
well,
still
Dame,
made him look guilty.
at the end of the day, Dame, they was gonna fire him anyway. They
Yeah.
didn't need the settlement because still what he was accused of was sexual assault and rape.
So
Okay.
and what's so crazy
It
to
was
me
the
about that, Dave, if he was accused of sexual assault, why didn't they try to press charges criminally against him? It was only
well, you
civilly.
knew
They was coming after the money.
that's all they wanted was the money. That's why it was dismissed with no prejudice. But at the end of the damn day, ESPN is wrong.
Wrong
He
as
had no
fuck
reason to, and it's his fault. I don't feel sorry for his ass,
at all.
but he had no business to add injury to insult. Not his co-host partner on another show podcast that he does, Oko Cinco. Chad.
And I'm glad you brought
He's
that up,
on
man.
first.
How do you feel about that, Dave?
They
That was a smack in the
down,
motherfucking face.
and then he took time out and was telling people he'd be back during preseason. No, you won't, Shannon. No, you won't. Now you're gonna be doing podcasts for the rest of your life until this shit blow over. You had a perfect opportunity. You left Skip Bayless racist ass show. And then you got an opportunity over there with Stephen A on First Take, the number one show in the country for 13 years.
Hey
You
man,
did.
ESPN was dirty as fuck for that. They allowed this man to settle for this 22 something million with this woman, and then and he was thinking after he took care of all that, he still would be able to come back and have his job at ESPN. They allow him to waste his money and then fire him after that. So give me your thoughts on that, Dave. That was some dirty shit.
No, it was dirty shit. It was wrong, and they got it wrong to fire him like they always fire. They let Jalen Rose and them go for no damn reason. But it's awfully peculiar. They always find a way to keep the white people. I remember Jamel Hill. Janelle Hill.
Yeah, Jamel Hill.
They fired said what she said about Trump. They got her to do a partial apology and still fired her. They thought because they gave her some money that made it all better.
Right.
Carrie
Well, at least she
Champion.
got paid out of the deal and got some money, because, at the end of the day, man, these athletes know it's certain things that you can say and that you can do, especially when it's put out in front of the mainstream media, and what I mean by that is, these allegations against Shannon Sharpe, ESPN is a bipartisan of Walt Disney, so they're not going to have no one working for them other having sexual allegations, and then not only that, they're known for family and kids and shit like that. So they don't want that heat, they don't want that smoke. So at the
But
end of the day, regardless if he settled or not, I believe they were just going to fire him anyway.
you're right. But ESPN ain't no no kids show. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
what I mean is Walt Disney. Walt Disney,
No, I
ESPN
understand
is a
that.
part of Walt
Right.
Disney.
Right, I understand that, but that's the problem with them, man. And you know these guys keep going on this show, and they keep it in the middle. You know what I'm saying? They don't go all the way in like they should. You know what I'm saying? So they keep it in the middle. This is why First Take is number one because they had to go against certain things that they don't want to go against sometimes. You know that's why he left Skip Baylor's show because he's a racist. You know what I'm saying? He was in the right opportunity, and now he had his liquor going, his pot, Cat Williams and Monique, and them. Cat Williams got that podcast going for him.
Right.
You know, and one of the most watched podcasts. You did, and then you mess up a big opportunity for this Saltine, a young Saltine.
You
See,
know,
they
and at the end of the day, Dave, and I keep saying, and I always keep saying this: let this be a lesson learned, for up and coming athletes, entertainers. You see what the end results. It normally never ends well when
no,
you're dating outside of your race. When it comes to being in the limelight, it seems like these black athletes are always getting took to the bank. And I'm just gonna keep it real.
but see, I hate to bring up my man Kobe Bryant. Every black person that gets involved with a white girl and they accuse them of rape or sexual assault, they never they never prove a fact. And they lawyer, the first thing they do is say that's settled so we can say some of the embarrassment and get it over with fast. No, that's not how you get down. I'd have told my lawyer I ain't settling shit.
Yeah,
I
listen.
a
Why
person
would if you're innocent? See, and this is what a lot of people is not recognizing. If you're innocent, I understand what they were trying to say. Try to
yeah,
hush this shit up, get in front of it. But look, if you're innocent, why even allow this motherfucker to why even settle, because that makes people think that you're trying to hide something and cover something up. And then why even pay a motherfucker who's lying about you? You know what I mean? You take that shit to court and then you turn around and you sue their asses for defamation of character.
you goddamn right. And I would have took this all away. I'd have made Tony Buzzley sweat. And I would have made her a funky ass sweat. Because I would have
Hell yeah.
all the way. There ain't no way in hell my lawyer getting no free damn money because I'm agreeing with him.
And that's what happened, Dave. They got free money, by him settling. That's all they got was free money because there was plenty of evidence, that was recorded on both sides that this was nothing but a shakedown. He allowed his lawyers to talk him into settling, and at the end of the day, these lawyers are in cahoots, all these lawyers, they works amongst each other to be able to take the money out of these black entertainers and athletes' pockets. That's it at the end of the day.
And,
You know what I mean?
and they get rich as hell from it. You
That's
dig?
it.
But I guess
Facts.
they say when a person make your toes curl, you can't help yourself sometimes. Shannon had a little bit too much fun and it cost him 22 million. That's too much to be paying for a prostitute. That is too much. And I ain't trying to knock nobody, but motherfuckers got to be smarter because we keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. It keeps repeating itself. We keep watching this happen over and over and over again. When the shit gonna stop? It ain't gonna stop because it's a trend. Because we believe in dumb shit and we keep getting caught up in the dumb shit. So y'all, I
Man,
just
listen. Once black athletes stop putting these white women on their arms and making it, trying to, and it goes back to the beginning of the time. Most black men do this to try to make it seem like they made it, like they've arrived, by having a white woman on their arm to try to outshow the next man, like, okay, I've made it. I finally made it. I got a white woman on my arm, but we got to get out of that mindset. You got to look at what's been going on, what's been happening the last 20 years to, most black athletes and superstars.
and man, you hit it right on the dot. And one thing I'm gonna tell you, I ain't always in agreement with Stephen A. motherfucking ass. You understand me? But one thing I can say about him, you don't know if he got a girlfriend, a wife. He barely even talks about his home situation. It took some years before you found out he had kids.
Yeah, and that's how you're supposed to keep it when you're out
You
there,
know what I'm saying?
in the limelight and you're in a spotlight and you're on social media and you have a platform.
Everybody
You got to keep your private life and your social life separated.
and
And
I
that's what Shannon failed to do.
Yep, and I liked him on First Take. I liked the other side that he brought. But it is what it is. I just want y'all people to know, man, y'all got to be careful out here, man. Be careful with these saltines. I ain't telling you can't deal with a white girl like a white girl. That's your business. You do and do it who you want to do it with. But you have to be careful for these shakedowns because they after that money. They've been doing it. So y'all got to get right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, y'all like, y'all share the channel. Only helps the channel grow. You dig? My special quote for the day is, don't let no one, your lawyer or no one, talk you into doing something you uncomfortable with that's going to cost you a lot of money or cost you your life. Real talk.